Referred to as an actor's dream play because of its witty and scathing dialogue, the Pulitzer Prize-winning play Glengarry Glen is being presented by the Tennessee Repertory Theater. Let's step into this world of cutthroat competition between real estate salesmen on this week's Arts Break.
You're a client. I just sold you 5 waterfront Glengarry farms. I rubbed my head.
Glengarry Glen is it's set in 1984, and it tells the story of what happens in a particular real estate sales office that has 4 salesmen in it when a sales contest is started that says the top 2 sellers will get these prizes and the bottom 2 sellers will lose their jobs. And so that pressure that comes upon the 4 of them in various ways is sort of what that story's about. What are you willing to do, A, to make a sale, B, to keep your job?
Ray, you eat in a lot of restaurants. I know you do. Ray's with the American Express. I can tell Jim what you do? Sure. Ray's director of all European... Ricky Roma is probably what you think of when you think of sort of the prototypical salesman in the go-go 80s, as we used to call him. Ricky is a guy who is sort of amoral, and what he has managed to do is turn sort of greed and the idea of succeeding at all cost into a kind of moral imperative for himself. There's really no sort of boundary that he's not willing to cross in order to cash in. But he has a certain amount of charm that he does it with, too, so he's not completely despicable. Only when you actually think about what he's done, you think that he's totally despicable. Mamet is such a brilliant writer in that, and there's a school of thought in approaching Mamet that says if you just do the lines and emphasize the words that Mamet emphasizes, and you really govern the pauses and all the interruptions, and you're really paying attention to the other actor, you really can't do it badly. What you have to try and do as an actor is make those lines your own, even though they're so specifically Mamet. If you can make them your own and make all that dialogue work the right way, there's a wonderful sort of rhythm to it that is really unlike any other writer working today.
David Mamet is famous for his artistic use of profanity. There's a rhythmic musicality to it that it's hard to explain until you hear it actually in use. In talking about this piece as our Pulitzer Prize-winning expletive-rich text. And it's really, the reason David Mamet uses language like that is because his ultimate goal is truth. His truth doesn't actually feel bounded by polite conversation. It's kind of how he feels about it.
It feels like a musical piece. It's like a great jazz ensemble almost, but everybody is kicking in at the right time, and they're playing when they should be playing, and they're laying out when they should be laying out, and there's a rhythm and a pace and a mood.
It's great artistic satisfaction, and it's just fun.
The Tennessee Repertory Theater's production of Glengarry Glen runs February 7th through the 21st at the Johnson Theater in the Tennessee Performing Arts Center.
This NPT Arts Break is made possible by the generous support of the Ingram Charitable Fund.